Okay, so today we're looking at dividing fractions or dividing rational expressions and reducing. So in fact, that's the directions. So divide and then reduce. Okay, just like yesterday, if we're going to reduce, you cannot cancel terms. You can only reduce out factors. Things are being multiplied. All right, so number one, let's go ahead and divide this. So 14x over y squared divided by x over y to the 7th. Okay, let's give one of these x's an exponent. What do you want to make this x right there?
3.
Let's make it a 3.
5.
Make it a 3. All right. So if we're going to divide fractions, you've kind of learned this before. We flip one of them, don't we? Which one do we flip? The second one right there. So it's this divided by this fraction. So you flip and then you multiply. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this. So 14x over y squared, just recopy that. So times, so that one stays the same, times, and then you flip that one. So now this is y to the 7th on the top over x cubed. Okay, just like yesterday. It doesn't have to be right on top of each other. It could be as long as everything's multiplication. So anything that's the same on the top and the bottom, so that we have the y's there. So let's write our answer. So 14, that's all we have there. Nothing reduces there. But how many y's do we have left over? If there's 7 y's on the top, 2 y's on the bottom, there's 5 y's. And where are they left? On top. So y to the 5th. Okay, over how many x's do we have left? 2. We have 1 x on the top, 3 x's on the bottom. Reduce one of them, and it leaves 2 of them. So x squared. And there you go. So it is multiplication. Okay. Okay, number 2. Okay, 3 plus x over x squared minus 16. Okay, we're going to divide that by x squared plus 6x plus 9 divided by x minus 4. All right. All right, so let's start reducing. Can we just reduce out the x squared and the x? Why not? It's a term. It's separated by that. So we need a factor. Okay, so let's start writing it. Which one do we flip? This one. So it's this divided by, so it'll end up being multiplied by. So let's go ahead and write, so what we have. So 3 plus x over, we can factor this. How does x squared minus 16 factor? Okay, so x plus 4, x minus 4. Now I'll put times. Well, it flips, so what goes on top? X minus 4. I'll put it in parentheses. Makes it look better. In fact, I'll put that in parentheses as well. Okay, over, and then we factor that, because it's on the bottom. That'd be x times x. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus and plus. Okay, plus 3, plus 3. Outside's 3x, inside's 3x. It's positive 6x. 9. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now everything's multiplication, so we can reduce anything from the top and the bottom that are the same. Hey, do I need to pull out a negative and switch that? Or can I just switch it? I can just switch it. If it's a plus, it's the same thing. So I'm not even going to switch it. I'm not going to take down and rewrite it. I know x. This is x plus 3 or 3 plus x, same thing. One of those are gone. There we go. And then x minus 4 is gone. These leave a 1. Right? Okay, so what's our answer? 1 over x plus 4, x plus 3. And there you go. Okay. Questions? Good. Okay. The last one here. So number 3. Okay, 9 minus x squared over 6x squared plus 15x over, so this is a complex fraction, 3x squared minus 8x minus 3 over 2x squared minus 3x minus 20. Okay. Okay, this looks complicated, but is this kind of the same thing as number 2?
No. Yes.
It is. Okay. This is just pretty much the same thing, just different equations there. So we have a fraction divided by a fraction, right? It's this fraction divided by this fraction. So yes, so we're going to rewrite it. In fact, at the same time. Okay. So it's this divided by this. So we flip and multiply. So this one will eventually flip and multiply. But as we're writing it, we might as well factor it, right? Okay, so let's write this, the top there. Let's write this fraction. Let's factor as we write it. So the top there. Can we factor it? Okay. Okay. It's your choice. We could take out a negative and switch it. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to, just because we've done that before, let me just show this other. Let's just go ahead and factor it. I personally just factor it as is, because I don't want to waste an extra step of switching and pull out a negative. It's up to you, but I'm going to show it just factoring it. Okay, so let's factor this difference of 2 squares. Okay, we can do that. So let's difference of 2 squares. So what times what is 9? 3 times 3 is 9. What times what is x squared? And x times an x. X times x. So it's 3 plus x, 3 minus x. It's the same as far as factoring. It's a difference of 2 squares. Okay? Over, well, let's factor this. So what can we take out? 3x, good. GCF, greatest common factor. That leaves us with 2x plus 5. There we go. Okay. So it's this fraction divided by this. So now it becomes multiplication, and we flip this. So these two, which one's on the top now? Good, the 2x squared minus 3x minus 20, right? Because we flip and now we're multiplying. Okay, so let's factor that. Okay, so 2x squared minus 3x minus 20. So 2x times x gives us 2x squared. Looks like 4 and 5 gives us 20. So we need a 3, negative 3x in the middle there. So where does a 4 go? Right there. And 5 right there. Because remember, outside, inside. Outside, we want a 3. Negative 3. So outside is what? 8x. Inside is 5x. 8x, 5x. 8 and 5 to get 3? Sure. So we need negative 8. Negative 8x plus 5x. Gives you negative 3 and negative 20 when you multiply. Perfect. Okay, over. So this is now the denominator, so we flipped it. So let's factor that. 3x and x. So, well, what times what is 3? 3 and 1. We need an 8. So where does my 3 have to go? Outside. There you go. 3 and 1. Okay, outside, inside. So outside is 9x, inside's 1x. 9 and 1, we need a negative 8. So we have to have that as negative 9. Negative 9 outside. Plus 1 is negative 8 last is -3, got it. So we're factored. So this problem is as difficult as basically factoring. So if you have trouble factoring, well, you work on it. But now anything that's the same we can cancel. Is there anything that's the same?
I guess the whole lot of 1 plus 7 whole is fine.
What's the same?
The
2x, okay, well, hang on. So 2x plus 5, 2x plus 5. That reduces out. That's gone. What else? Oh, 3 minus x and x minus 3. Right now they're not the same, but what can we do with one of them? Take out a negative and switch it. Okay, so I'm going to cancel these. I'll switch it in my mind there. So I cancel and cancel, but when we switch this, we pulled out a -1. So I'll put it there. Okay, so pull out -1, we switch it, then it cancels. Okay, is there anything else that reduces? No. Okay, so let's try what we have. We have negative, there's my -1, times 3 plus x, x minus 4, okay, over 3x and 3x plus 1. There you go. If you want to call that x plus 3 and not change anything else, that's fine. Or you can just leave it as is. So it's division, it's multiplication, flip and multiply that. And then factor and reduce. There we go. Okay, your homework is what? The rest of those. So number, just the ones with division. Okay, but go ahead and skip. There's one on there I want you to skip. I know I'm still recording here, but skip. Skip the last two, 16 and 17, but do 15. So this is what it looks like. So skip 16, 17, unless you want to do them. That's, you can challenge yourself. But do 15. We should be able to do 15. And then all the ones that we didn't do yesterday.